So to change topic, we're back to local soccer. A huge announcement. Dr. Patrice Motsepe, he has been named the president of the CAF Corporation, and his objective is to protect African football on a global scale.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the appointments?
I made notes of some of the things he's spoken about prior while he was running for office, and he obviously he called them the 10-point plan action, but didn't take all. I'm not going to talk about all 10 of them. I think the most important one or the most probing ones are, firstly, obviously we want to see a fairly ran organization. No, like you've seen over the years, especially for Southern African teams, they suffer the injustice of CAF and some of the things with fixtures not being allowed to move and everything. However, over and above that, there's a situation of prize money in the African Cup of Nations. He spoke about that, the development of women's football. That's one of the things. And he also made priority of having football in Africa, obviously, and attracting partners and sponsorships and creating a good relationship with FIFA. And obviously now that is a tick because he already had the backing of FIFA prior to during the campaign and everything. So those are some of the things that I think he has identified, which were sort of like easy to identify. I mean, the problems at CAF were everywhere and for everyone to see, and it was quite easy. And I'm happy that he came in and identified them and said, listen, we have a problem of this, and we have a problem of broadcasting, of having to pay
the broadcasting rights for the
overseas, and now and then how do you pay an overseas company to feed you your own thing?
Yeah, to feed you your own product.
Your own product, you know, like it's a problem. And he's aiming to do that, and I like the fact that he obviously looks into the infrastructure of football in Africa and the women's part. I mean, we want to see our women in Africa not only going to the World Cup, because eventually you will have a few teams going to the World Cup because that's the qualifying process. But now, don't only go there to just go there and compete and be one of the best. You know, we have in South Africa here on our own banana players are all over the world. They sort of like almost every week they're signing with overseas teams and they playing well, they're scoring goals. And when it comes to to Banyana having to go further, yes, they do go to the World Cups, qualify and play, but they getting out of the group stage is a bit tricky.
It's tricky, yeah.
And we understand it because obviously now we have to align ourselves with the rest of the world and how they're playing, and the infrastructure is not as big or great as theirs. And he has identified a lot of those problems, and he has come in, and I'm happy that the other two guys just decided, like, you know what, dude, this is
you, fam. This is
your one-horse race. Run it, win it. Don't be like Kaiser Chiefs and lose a one-horse race like you once said. Lose a one-horse race like you said. So it was quite evident, and him being a business-minded person, it becomes easier. We trust him and to say, look, okay, this guy understands business, money, and how it's supposed to go and how it's supposed to be used in football. We trust him, and he will do the right things.
Yeah, no, and I agree upon that, because you've seen how he's the amount of money he's even invested in Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes. It shows that it's not even just a businessman trying to like it's like to buy a soccer club. Yeah. It's a businessman that wants a soccer club to become the best thing since sliced bread. And Sundowns has been a dominant force, not only in South African football, but also in African continent. And I think the fact that he's now wanting to grow that soccer, his passion and love for soccer to such an extent that he now wants to take it, like you've said, with all your points, towards the African nation. I think it shows exactly that's what people need to do, like we spoke about last week about Beast, creating a foundation in order to help the emerging people. We need those people in power to actually want and use their connections and everything that they've brought to the sport that they love in order for it to grow and prosper as as an entity, because we can't rely only on government funding or funding from a form of football body. It's just not strong enough. Like, we don't have, if you want to compete with women's football, you don't have the infrastructure that the English and the French football teams and the US football teams have, because they've got money. They've got sponsors, we can't compete with our small budget. We do need to get, like you said, exposure. We need his business connections in order to get sponsorship.
Yes.
We do need to monetize like African football.
Yes.
Like why was Mane not a part of a Senegalese team before he was signed to somewhere else? Why did he have to go? Why do all the players end up going to France, going to Europe? Why is that not like that African football? Because Zamalek, all of these teams, Casablanca, they've all been doing really well, but you're not hearing about their top striker is going to move to another club.
It's difficult,
and it is, I think, because it's hard for people, like if you're going to bring international people to film, they're not seeing the monetary value.
Definitely.
So we have to make our product better, because I think the quality and the talent is there, but the fact that majority of them are playing in Europe, that shows that the talent is there. But I think that this is a step in the right direction.
Tibs.
And I really support that decision.
He said something very interesting. He said, I cannot be CAF president, pardon me, and Bafana Bafana is not doing well. So
Bafana,
yes,
you know what must happen.
You know what must happen.
You must know what's going to be.
Yes, definitely.
But speaking of Bafana Bafana, where they choose their players from, the DS.